everybody. Welcome. Happy Taco Tuesday. You're still commenting, Mike.
I know. I can't. I don't know what's going on.
It's okay. I am Kat the Nurse Slipper. If you guys do not know, I am joined by my co-host Rod, Picking and Punching. And these two guys below us have not been on before. We have Mike, Deathpile Picker, and Cory from Grams and Pops Vintage. So I am going to let these guys introduce themselves, and then we'll get to your questions. Get them in early to make sure we answer them. And here's Mike.
Howdy.
Tell them what you do.
Tell you what you do, bro.
Same thing that everybody else does, man. I resell stuff or pretend to. And yeah,
your YouTube channel?
YouTube channel, Deathpile Picker, down there in the corner.
Instagram.
That's Instagram, Deathpile Picker.
Former military.
Like email. The only thing that's different is it's the Deathpile Picker at gmail.com because somebody beat me to it. I don't know. But outside of that, I'm old and technologically unsavvy, and I'm trying to figure out a way to sign out of my son's email account so I can follow along in the chat with. I don't know. That's it.
It's Next okay. It don't matter. Yeah. All right. Here's Cory.
Hey guys, I'm Cory with Grams and Pops Vintage. You can find me on YouTube and Instagram. You can find me at the Reseller Clickbait Podcast on YouTube and Instagram. And if you're really ambitious, you can find me at Planes to Profit in Omaha, February 23rd and 24th. That's it. I'm a reseller and new at it, 1.5 years in, and we haven't screwed up too bad yet.
Yeah. All right, let's see what we got. What do we got? Miss Patty wants to know, how do you turn off to make an offer setting while you're running a sale in your store?
Mike?
I don't run any sales in my store, so that's probably best. That's probably best handled. I know.
That would solve the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, one of many, really. Cory, help them out.
I think you bulk select and you can shut off make offers, but to be completely honest, I tell Grams and she shuts it off.
So I just keep it on because sometimes people will send me an offer, and then what I'll do is I will reply back to them, said, hey, I appreciate you making me an offer, but the item is already on a 15 or 20% discount, but here's an extra 5% for you.
That's a better answer.
And that helps me get a ton of sales. So I like to keep it on.
Yeah, I leave it on as well. I don't turn it off. And I'm like Rod, I'll say, hey, it's already on sale, but I can do this. This is my lowest, and let them know, because it might be, I had somebody send it for like 94% off today. You know what I mean? You do get people that send decent offers to you. But you can bulk edit. You can do, I think, 2,000 at a time, and you could turn it off. I would not recommend it, but you can bulk do it. And for me, who runs a sale all the time, it would defeat the purpose for me to do it.
I would forget to turn it on if I did that. So.
Oh. And he quit.
Okay, he had a nice run.
Still trying to sign out of that account.
Yeah, he's trying to figure out his system. All right.
It's okay. He'll be back. Miss Diane wants to know, when figuring out cost of goods for an auction lot, do you include the shipping and handling amounts or just the cost of the auction lot?
Oh, Mike put me in the hot seat, didn't he?
Yep.
He did.
I guess I don't have a good answer because we don't do auction lots with shipping. So I would have to compare it to a storage unit. It's the closest thing we do, and we figure in the gas and the U-Haul and cost and all that, and we put it together, and then we divide it out. Everything goes in.
Similar answer to Cory. When I factor stuff in, figure out cost of goods for an auction lot, do you include shipping, handling amounts? So for cost of goods for me, I factor in all the things that it took for me to buy those items. So if it, shipping, if I bought it at a shipping lot, if I just bought it at a yard sale or a private pick, then, I don't have to factor it in. Or if I bought it from a massive lot, I'll take the amount and divide it by the overall items. But, shipping is part of the business, something that everyone's going to have to pay one way or another. So if you're not paying the shipping, the buyer's going to pay the shipping. So, you just got to make sure that you cover yourself in those situations.
Yeah, so I actually have a situation right now that I think this actually applies to, even though it's not shipping and handling. So I just won 2 full closets of clothes, as well as 4 big lots of collectibles in Dothan, Alabama. So instead of shipping, which they would not have shipped them anyways, I sent my daughter. So I pay her $15 an hour, and she's going to have 10 hours into driving to Dothan to pick it up. So I will add that $150 she's getting paid into the overall cost, which I got over 400 items, so I'm still not even adding 50 cents per item cost into those items. And I do the same thing for shipping. I'm going to divide it by how many ever items are in that box. That's why I personally like to buy, it's either big lots or it's going to be something that's very valuable with hundreds of dollars of profit. So a $50 shipping fee is going to be kind of whatever to me. But yes, that is part of your cost. So you definitely want to figure that in. And then for me, paying people to list, that's another cost too. So I have to add $2 to every single item that's listed for paying them to list as well. So count all of that into your cost of goods. He's back.
No, he's back. There we go.
You ain't getting out of it that easy, buddy.
I'm really working.
Mike, pull your mic a little closer to you, buddy.
Thank you, Rod.
There
Thank you. I'll just adjust my mic volume, dude.
Okay, perfect.
Mike, do you buy any auction lots that are shipped to you, or do you do all in-person stuff?
All in person. So all of my deals are either private picks or yard sales, thrift stores.
Okay. All right, let's see. CM Trade wants to know if we can explain how to handle an INR. When a buyer does an INR claim, IND, I think is what, isn't it IND?
Item not received.
INAD.
Oh, item not received. I was thinking INAD. Yeah, not as described. When a buyer does an INR claim and I put in, okay, wait. So Corey's right. Item not received claim, they put in tracking. Do I refund the buyer? So I would ask you, CM Trades, if the item was delivered. Like, we need to know, because sometimes people put them in and the tracking shows delivered. So tell us if the tracking shows delivered or not. And then we can answer the rest. So let's say it's not delivered. Do they need to refund the buyer before the date eBay gives them, or let eBay do it? And if they wait, does it affect them?
What would you do, Mike?
Well, typically, like what I'm going to do is just wait for customer's going to the customer's going to message me, tell me what their issue is, and then I'll verify. I'll go to USPS and verify the tracking number. In the event that it doesn't show that it's delivered, or that it's been stagnant, like with us, we have a particular post office in Macon where things will get held up or they'll get shipped the wrong direction. Then I'll look at it. I'll give them a tracking update. And in the event that it's been stagnant for a while, I'll do a find a lost item, or can you find my mail? So I'll submit that request for the customer and then give them the update as well. If it shows delivered to their house and they say they didn't receive it, I'll tell them to engage their local postmaster, and they should be able to. I mean, I've had it happen with me. The postmaster is able to pull a receipt of where that item was dropped, like geotagged and everything, and said more than likely it shows that it was delivered at this neighbor's house, and they will engage that neighbor and ask them for the package that was misdelivered. But most of the time, it's out of our hands once it's there. I'll try and go the extra mile for certain people. If it's a $10 item, I'll just advise them to do what I said. But I'll still take a few steps to let them know that I'm doing my part.
Yep. I'm pretty similar. I'm more hands off with it on this side. I think it's, as long as we've met our requirement and gotten it shipped on time, we'll give the tracking number, and we'll let eBay, we'll just inform them to handle it through eBay. And beyond that, we really try not to get involved much past that.
So, especially during this time of year, I have packages that get stuck. And there's 2 postal services in the country that, for me, always get stuck. One's New Jersey and one's in Illinois. all the time. Every single Christmas for like 3 years in a row, 4 years in a row now, they get stuck at those locations. So they're getting an overabundance of packages, what's kind of happening. And so what I would do is if a buyer reaches out to me, I would let the buyer know, hey, it's Christmas time. Some of these, the Postal Service is on a slight delay with things. If the buyer does persist, I would tell them to open a claim on eBay. The reason why I tell them to open a claim on eBay, because eBay will give you an X amount of time, which will buy you more time to allow that package to get there before you actually have to submit the information and respond back. And then once the package is to like a certain point in that process, as Mike was saying, you can actually go on the United States Postal Service website. You can actually fill out the tracking information on there for a lost package. And magically, when you do that, those packages do reappear really soon. So it's magic how that works. And because the Postal Service doesn't want to pay out the insurance on those packages, because remember, anything ground advantage or priority mail now has $100 free insurance on those items. You don't have to pay for that insurance. So I would say that's the best route to go. eBay at this point in time too, if you put in there, hey, look, the item looks like it's stuck at the Postal Service, and you put in the chat that you're gonna contact the Postal Service, try to do that. eBay will review that, and sometimes eBay will extend the waiting time as well. So they'll put another, say, hey, it is Christmas time. We knew the Postal Service did announce they're on delay. We're going to give that package an extra 5 days. That's happened to me in the past. So it's the best route to go. Just go through the proper channels on eBay to buy yourself more time, so you don't have to issue a refund and then see if that item can actually get back.
Yeah, so I think everybody kind of covered it, but I want to address if I wait, does it affect me? If eBay is forced to do the refund, you are dinged. That is a case resolved not by seller. That is a ding against your metrics. So if they give you that final warning saying the buyer hasn't received it, you can't get it extended, like Rod said, if you're not the one to hit that button, it is a ding against your account. So do not ever let them be the one to give that refund. Like, I wait till the last day, right, hoping that it's been delivered. And if it hasn't, I do. But that's one of the metrics is like resolved, not resolved by seller. It's called something like that. But it is one of the metrics that eBay will ding you on. And if they force the refund, it's on you.
Do you know that if they do force the refund on you and then the item does arrive, can you appeal that process? I've never gotten to that point, because I know
I don't know, because I don't let it go, because I did once, because I was like, I know I sent it. It was something expensive. I was like, I'm not refunding them unless it's forced, and it went against my metrics when I let it get to that. But I would assume you would be able to, but I don't ever know with lovely eBay.
I actually issued a refund early once, and then the package arrived, and eBay said there's nothing I can do because I decided to issue the buyer a refund prior to that.
That's what I'd be afraid of.
Yeah, so that's
some of the buyers have sent me PayPal. I've had it happen a couple times over the years where they actually want to pay for it. That's if you get somebody that's honest and I got this, but I got the refund. How do I pay you?
do you think it's almost worth the risk of getting a ding on your account if it's a high dollar, if it's items like $300, $400, $500 item?
So the difference would be between, for me, it's not going to hurt me. If it's a small seller that's selling, 75, 100 things a month, that's going to hurt them. So for me, I could let it go. I did let it go that one time. That's how I know I got a ding. But if they're not selling much, that could throw them into below standard.
Yeah.
Is what
sucks.
Let
me ask you, how has this happened to y'all? Because I've never had to issue a refund prior to. I've never had an automatic thing. You provide
most of mine are there. Most of mine show delivered, but the buyer says it's not there, and then eBay covers me because I have a scan that it's delivered.
Okay.
But if it's actually lost, if it's actually lost, USPS will reimburse you up to that $100 and the postage. If they cannot find it and it is not delivered, that is an easy claim. I will tell you, that's a very easy claim to get approved. But you have to wait 14 days for priority to be able to file that claim.
Yep. That's why I said it's so important that when you do have the buyer try to extend that time to open up that claim, extend the time
Yeah,
for them
you need
opening
to
that
try
claim.
and get them not to do that.
Correct.
Hey, it's updating. I'm contacting the post office, because soon as they open that claim is when that clock starts ticking.
Yeah. Also, too, I highly encourage people, if you're in this situation, make sure that you are checking daily on that tracking and send the buyer a personal updated message, because it does goes a long way. And
Rod,
from
can you answer this? Do you remember what you did to get eBay to give you more time, like how you went about that?
Yeah, so when you would go through and you put the claim in customer service, and when you do that, you can, if you check on the Postal Service website, and I'll give you an example, like when there's like say a hurricane or a tornado or bad weather in a certain part of the U.S., you can go to the Postal Service website. You can actually copy what they'll post on there about a delay in shipping or stuff like that, and you can actually add that to your claims, and that will help you out. So during the pandemic, I actually did that for multiple claims I had on my account for items just getting stuck and not being able to ship. And eBay did extend the shipping process for me. I think they extended, I'm going to say 5 or 7 days. They'll give you an extra like 5 or 7 days to try to get it resolved. And but it just really has to come down what's kind of going on. A lot of times shipping issues are caused by natural disasters or certain weather in different parts of the, even though you may be in the West Coast, but 2/3 of the U.S. lives on the East Coast, and they had a hurricane or something like that hits a shipping hub, that can just throw the whole system off. So it is very important to just keep that information in mind. And the Postal Service will post web updates on their website on the front page if there's any like type of shipping delays stuff. And also eBay will post stuff up on their website if there's natural disasters for shipping.
Yeah, and they'll say to let you know. Teresa said she looks every day to see if packages get delivered. If you're a smaller seller, that's something you could do. But I'll tell you, like, we ship out an average of 100 to 150 a week, and I just don't have time to go back and scroll through them and see if they're being delivered. I will too, and I might make a video on this, and I don't even think I told you about this, Rod. I want to tell you guys, so at least here recently, and I did Google, and I'm going to do more research if I do a video. USPS and FedEx are contracted with each other, and so USPS is handing some of your USPS packages off to FedEx, not FedEx Ground, USPS Ground Advantage and Priority. They are handing them over to FedEx, who is then transporting them close to where the buyer is. And what's happening is FedEx will drop it, say, one town over from where it's going. It then scans as delivered, and it will show the wrong zip code. And then 2 days later, USPS actually delivers it. So FedEx is saying, oh, we delivered it to USPS's hub for them. But on eBay, it says delivered. And I've had 2 very, very angry, not understanding buyers that are like, you shipped it to the wrong address. And I'm like, no, I did not ship it to the wrong address. And the only reason I found out is because one followed up with me and they said, well, you shipped it through FedEx. That's your fault. And USPS finished the job. That I'm like, I shipped it through USPS. So when I Googled, they do have contracts with each other. So there's some screw ups on the scanning right now I know of, and it's saying it's delivered. So if you guys have that happen, it says it's delivered. Zip code is not the zip code you sent it to. I bet money that's what's going on. And you have to wait just a couple more days and USPS will deliver it. But it has been a pain.
Also, too, during the holiday times, a lot of the postal workers will load the trucks up the night before, and they will scan packages, then mark them delivered, and they will drop them off the next day. That's happened to me a dozen times. It has happened to me a couple times this year, my own personal packages, and also my customers' packages. So keep that in mind. If you have a buyer saying that they didn't receive the item, just send them a message. Hey, wait till tomorrow to see if the item does get arrived. Sometimes they'll scan the package the night before the market delivered, even though it's not delivered. They're just trying to get ahead of work, especially because of holiday time. And that usually buys me an extra day or two.
For sure. Scott sent us a $5 super chat and said, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. I hope you're feeling better, my friend. I hope you're feeling better. I'm going to give Scott the original super chat. Here you go. Super chat. And I'm giving away some different stuff tonight, too, by the way.
Are you?
Yeah, it was given to me, and I asked permission to re-gift it, and I was told I could. So I will. I was like, I do not need this. May I give it away to my people? And
Have you
they
ever
said,
gotten a gift and then, or have you ever given someone a gift and then they gave it back to you as a gift, not realizing they're re-gifting it to you?
I have not had that happen.
Mike, have you?
No.
That's happened to me. Someone gave me a gift I gave him a couple years back, and I was like, I gave you this. And like, oh, really? I didn't realize that. So, yeah.
That's funny. I did have some stuff that was given to us that I was told I better not show on my YouTube channel that I sold. That is, I will leave it at that. I will leave it at that.
Okay.
Fair
Like,
enough.
don't you show that. All right, let's see. 5 Acre Woods wants to know, when addressing a return, do you send the buyer a return label or do you let eBay send the label for you?
It's all, I have 100% free return, so it automatically goes to them. Like once I approve the return, they can print out the label and then they have their 14 days to ship it back, and then we just cross our fingers they don't. That's it. So eBay takes care of it. Your customer takes care of it.
Yep, we do it the exact same way, and also pray that they don't actually send it back. It's about 50-50.
Yeah, I do everything through eBay. It saves the whole step in the process. It's all about time and being efficient. So I just have them, if they open up return, eBay automatically sends them a shipping label, and then we pray to the shipping gods that they don't ship it back. And sometimes they don't, which is funny. They forget about it, just like we all do with those things we order from Amazon that we need to return, and then day 31 comes and we don't return it. So
speak for yourself, dude. My wife's like, it's in the thing. Go take the app up there. Here's the item. And I got to drive to the UPS store. I'm like, babe, it was $6. It's $8 in gas. And she's like, well, just wait till tomorrow. There'll be more returns. I'm like, all right, whatever.
That's funny. So for me, if they message me and they got the wrong item, which has happened a few times here in the past few weeks with new employees, wrong items have been sent out, unfortunately. If I have the right item and I can send it to them, I personally say, please do not open a return, because then I can't send you the right item. I'll have to just refund you. So in that case, I buy a label on Pirate Ship and I send them that as a photo in eBay messages, and then I ship them the right item. So that way there's no eBay return ever open. They send it back at my cost and I send them the right item. So we've had that happen a couple, but if it's a true return where I'm not trying to exchange something for them, I have the automatic as well, where as soon as I approve it, they get the label. But if they message me saying they got the wrong one, I try to halt that process. Like, no, don't open it. Because once they open it, I'm like, you're going to have to wait for me to get it back. I refund you and you'll have to buy that item again. And I'd rather just send them the right item and exchange it for them.
That's a good point. We've actually put the wrong label on 2 packages before, and we've had the customers send them to each other.
Yep.
So we just
I've done that as if they're both nice. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I've had it where one was nice and the other wasn't, and I ended up having to refund the nice one because the not nice one wouldn't give them their crap back.
Yeah,
and they were nice and sent them their crap. I'm like,
hey, Kat, we you forgot the super chat for Mr. Cha-Ching King.
No, I didn't. I gave him a dolphin.
Oh, you did? Oh man, where was I?
Rod,
Rod's
in the zone
there,
over
buddy?
here, apparently. Okay.
I gave him the original super chat. We had it up and then took it down and then put it back up though, quite a few times. So that's probably why. But I did give him a dolphin.
I swear, guys, it's not my first day. All right, just it is what it is.
Miss Patty wants to know, and if you don't sell on Posh, just say you don't sell on Posh. If we can explain how to get listings on Poshmark to show new every day, and do you have the List Perfectly Pro to bulk export all your eBay listings to Posh? Or do you have to have? Sorry.
What's this Poshmark you speak of? I don't. Next.
Yeah, we don't sell on Poshmark either.
Yeah, so I do use List Perfectly, and I do bulk export my items from eBay to List Perfectly, and from there to Poshmark. I don't get many sales in Poshmark. I will say that. I get a lot more in Mercari than I do there. I use a sharing tool that re-shares my store about 10 times a day. So those items keep getting refreshed.
Yeah, so I use One Shop. I might start trying something else. Somebody is trying to get me to use something else, and I'm debating on it right now. But right now I use One Shop, and it refreshes my listings multiple times a day. So they go to the top because they were most recently shared. But Poshmark does have where you can share your whole closet with one button now. So you could just click that a couple times a day if you wanted. I choose to pay for the service because it also sends automatic offers to likers on Poshmark. And then I want to kind of talk about the bulk export thing. You can bulk export with any level, but I want to tell you, do not go try and move all your eBay listings at once, because your internet and your computer probably cannot handle that, because each listing is a tab. So let's say you have 500 listings. That's going to be 500 tabs popping open. It's probably going to freeze. You're not going to know what got copied, what didn't. So we don't do more than 5 typically, because we're in the country and our internet is slow. I would probably never, even if you have fast internet, do more than 10 at a time, because it will lock up. And so don't think you can just like select all and whisk them over there. You made him leave again. It's just not, you have to do it 5 to 10 at a time. He's just trying to get out of the hot seat. That's what's going on here.
He's trying to cross list.
I mean, it's going to sound stupid when I tell you what I was trying to do, but I got a little bit jealous because Cory like turned his camera off and he had like a little logo.
Oh, you're trying. Yeah, what? That's like mine's me and the dummy. Whoa, yeah. I'm the dummy now apparently. Mine's me and the dummy. That's a 4-year-old picture. Oh, look, you're the only one. Rod doesn't have one either, though.
I have the crazy eye.
Fancy like that.
I have the Wizard of Oz eye.
Well, that's my dummy from Harry Humstone. I want to go ahead and answer this real quick, just because it pertains to kind of what I just said. Do I use more than one cross-listing tool? I do not. I exclusively use List Perfectly. One Shop has a cross-posting feature. I do not use it. I never have. So I can't give you any like feedback on that, because they only cross-post between eBay, Posh, and Mercari. Which actually, that's all I'm doing now. But no, I use List Perfectly. My whole catalog is there, which I like. I found a return today from a year ago, and I was able to go into the List Perfectly catalog, pull up the listings, and just put it back on eBay with doing nothing, which was nice.
On open return?
It was a Poshmark return, believe it or not, from over a year ago. And I don't know where it came from. It was all of a sudden on my floor. We're finding all kinds of things now that the Deathpile is gone. So there's like all kinds of things.
Are you going to have them go through and do inventory then if you run out of stuff for them to list?
Well, I'm not going to, because I just bought 500 more things. But but that is a thought. I have had that thought to have them maybe do like one shelf or one bin a day to go through it and check that stuff is listed. Yes, that thought has crossed my mind.
Have you also thought about potentially downsizing your store a little bit, but maybe taking some items, because I know you have a lot of long tail items, bulking, maybe taking down some listings and bulking them together so that you do have the extra help now?
No, because like the whole list it and forget it. Then I'd have to pay them to do another listing when the listings are already there. I might start pulling some, if it's stuff I think would show well live on like Whatnot or Knickknacks. I might I was thinking of like shopping my own shelves and pulling stuff that I'm like, man, this is cute. It hasn't sold on eBay. Let me try it on a live sale where I can, actually show it. That is something I was actually thinking about today when I was walking through looking at inventory, because there's some like gorgeous stuff that I have that it's just not selling. And I think if people saw it live, that it would sell. So not like we're definitely not heading in the downsizing direction anymore. We are heading in the upsizing.
Yeah. Well, just increase your average sales price and maybe get rid of some lot together some items that just aren't selling. So.
Well, so with the new ones, I am doing that because I don't, like I said, 15 is like my minimum. So with $10 stuff, if I have two similar $10 items, I'm going to put them together. If I only have one, I'm going to donate it. Like $10 isn't going to get listed by itself. So if there's not two, it's just not going to go up. It's not, when you pay somebody $2 to list for something that sells for 10, and if you take an offer, like, there's not much point
no
in
meat
that.
in the bone.
No, not at all. So 15 is our lowest, unless it's multi-quantity. I will correct that. Like I will do $10 and I have 5 of them. So that's $50. Miss Liz says she made a sale on Poshmark that she needed to insure for $250. There was no way to add additional insurance on Posh. Google said it would be insured up to $400. Is that true? We will skip Mike and Cory because they said they don't sell on Posh, and we'll go to Rod.
Well, if you read it on the internet, it's probably true. But yeah, I don't know. I've had that's cat on that one. I haven't sold anything big on Poshmark, so I don't know the answer to that one.
So there's no way to add it. But I will tell you, if it's breakable, Posh tells you you better break it. You better break it good. You better wrap it good. They have like an extra disclaimer when you're listing breakable stuff on Poshmark to make sure that you're aware how to pack it. I have sold stuff up to $600 and $700 on Poshmark with no problem though. So I think you'll be fine. I would just make sure that you pack, especially if it's breakable, pack it very well.
Do they add delivery confirmation then to those, like eBay would make you do if it's that high that you sold? Really?
Not that I know of.
It's dangerous.
Yeah. But they have the seller protection. So as long as it was delivered, or if it gets lost, they would still compensate you.
Yeah.
Inked Picker says the buyer contacts you after you shipped an item saying they think that the post office sent the item back to you, but they still want the item. What method do you use to correct this?
All right. So this actually just happened to me on Whatnot. And I pushed out an item and it was the exact same claim. Like they went, told them to engage our local postmaster. They said that they sent it back to me. I verified the tracking and it just says arrived at post office in New Jersey, and Whatnot went ahead and took care of that. They claim they still wanted the item as well. I filled out the missing mail request and I requested that they send it back to me. And the only reason I did that is because, number one, it's my item. The buyer was refunded. It was covered, and it could end up going to the buyer. They were already refunded their money. So had Whatnot been able to step up, then once it arrives back to me, we'll see what I do. But I got no problem selling it twice. But I don't know what Whatnot's policy is regarding that. I'm not going to do it on there. But that's just the truth. That's who I am. I made sure the customer was taken care of. They received their money, and after that, it's not my concern.
Yep. It would really depend on why it was returned to me. I mean, if it was no fault of the customer and it was just a post office mix-up, then I'd do whatever I could. I'd probably refund them and try and get it sent back to me, and then work with the customer if they wanted it again. But if it was something they had their address messed up, or it was tried to deliver and it ended up getting sent back to me, I would probably refund minus shipping and block them. I mean, it completely depends on why it was coming back.
Yeah, I pretty much did the similar things. First thing I do is I would verify the buyer's address, because I can't tell you how many times buyers move and they move from like apartment to apartment and don't change or forget to update their address. Or maybe they're just a casual buyer. They haven't bought anything on eBay in the last 2 years. And they just, forgot that they're the wrong shipping address in. That's happened to me numerous times. If it's my fault or the post office messes up, then I'll just eat it. The item gets shipped back to me. I will make it right by the buyer. I'll take a loss in the item because it's not the buyer's fault. They want the item, and I want to make sure I give good customer service. A lot of people get bent out of shape situations like that, but you have to remember, like, I'm working on the rule of averages. If I ship out 1,000 items, if I got to eat one of them, I'm still making money across the board on all my other stuff. So it just wipe my hands of it and make the buyer happy. Hopefully they come back and buy more in the future. But I would just say the only thing I would do is check the tracking on it. You can verify where it is. They will update if the item does get shipped back to you. And then you can just communicate with the buyer, say, hey, see that item's getting shipped back to me. Once the item gets here, I'll find out what the issue is. And then if everything's good with the item, I can ship it. I'll pay for it and just ship it back to you. As long as it's not the buyer's fault, I'll take care of it.
Yeah, and I agree.
Right.
And if you guys missed it, Alicia Ink Picker was on with us last week. So check out last week's podcast. She was on with us. I agree. If it's not their fault, then I am going to cover it and take care of them. If it is their fault and they put the wrong address, I will ask them to pay for the shipping to go back to them once I get it, and they can send you it via PayPal. eBay will allow that in that situation. They have told me before, like, there's no way to re-invoice the buyer, that the buyer can send you PayPal for that shipping fee. So if it's their fault, a lot of times stuff comes back and nobody ever messages me and I don't hear anything, and I try and figure it out, and like maybe they're just on a shopping spree and forgot I do that. Like 3 months later, I'm like, where's that thing I bought? And yeah.
I have a problem pre-ordering items. Like I pre-ordered items like there's like a new PlayStation 5 like remote that you can have remote play, and this thing just showed up to my house one day and I totally forgot I pre-ordered it like 3-4 months ago. So that happens to me all the time. It's like
surprise.
Merry Christmas to myself.
I got an auction lot. Actually, I think I talked about this on last week's show, from Hybid, that was lost, and it finally showed up. And they had refunded me. The auction house refunded me, the Hybid auction house. And I haven't got the refund check yet. So I called them today. I'm like, hey, the box showed up. So if the check comes, I'll just shred it. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah. And it was crazy. All of the styrofoam peanuts were shriveled. Like, I don't know what that box went through, but they looked like dried up. They were like the recycled one. It was like very, very strange, but I finally got it. So I was like, I'm going to just tear up your refund check. And that Hybid house has been the most proactive with me. And I'm actually, I'm bidding on stuff right now with them. And I bid regularly because of that. I know. And I told him, I said, well, a couple of the Kachina dolls got damaged because of the shrinkage. And he's like, do you want me to send you a credit? And I'm like, no, I can glue them back together. I glue them back together all the time. Like, they're salvageable. And because he was being so nice to me, I told him I didn't want anything. But I've been buying from him regularly, and I would rather have a good working relationship than him think like, oh, I'm going to bug him for like every little, ding that happens. I ship out too. So I'm super understanding. Like, that box was lost for like a month. Who knows where it went. I was just happy to get it and get my stuff.
I will say, it does go a long way when you have a buyer that is cool. Like during the pandemic, I sold
100%.
Yeah, I sold an Xbox. What's the newest Xbox out? Xbox One X, and I sold it a guy, and then it got stuck. The package got stuck. We went through eBay. We went through everything. He filed a credit card dispute against me. Took the money. I had to give the money back. I was out. I think I sold it for like $600 or $700 at the time, and I was out that money and out my system. 3 months later, the package, because I would keep checking tracking, I got a notification. I put in lost package. I got a notification 3 months later that the item is set to be delivered at his place. I sent the buyer a message. And I said, please, you've already gotten a refund. They found the package. It was lost. Can you just refuse the package? And the buyer was super cool. He refused the package. So I had to pay like the $40 to $30 or whatever it was, $30 to get it shipped back to me. But I wasn't out that $500 or the $700 or whatever. What did I pay? Maybe it's like $550. I think I paid. So I think I sold for like $600. But yeah, at that point in time, it was a blessing in disguise. But yeah, more of the story is be understanding with people, even though it's Christmas time, stuff happens, and we're all in the same boat. So just be cool with buyers or be cool with sellers if your items are lost or items get broken. Accidents happen.
Yeah, I try to be as well, and I try to be calm when people are being extremely rude, which I've had a lot of lately. People using caps to yell at me and kind of say I'm a ding dong, and I'm like, I'm like, Kat, just stop engaging, just stop, because it's
Engage
like
them.
this back
Don't
and
stop.
forth.
Engage.
I'm like, oh, I do for a little while before I tell myself I better stop. Like,
If Rod taught me anything, it's reply to everybody and get the boost. Just take the boost in your channel, because they're still going to be miserable. You might as well just
no, I'm talking about buyers on
more
eBay.
miserable.
I
Oh, yeah.
engage with the
Oh.
commenters too, but
yeah.
I meant
No.
buyers.
Oh yeah, no, I engage with everybody. So if you leave a negative comment on my YouTube channel or even on my store, I'll engage with you, because it's only going to help boost my algorithm on all platforms across the. So I encourage it. So.
All right, Miss Eileen says she sold a stuffed monster worth money for $55. It took over 2 weeks to get to Florida. Buyer says it was damaged and he wants a return. She's asking, should she? I don't know where the rest of the question went. Should she accept that return? Listen here, Gina.
Let's see. Is it up in the channel? Like, is it up in the chat?
Yeah, good question.
I don't.
Back there.
Do you see the rest of it, Rod?
I'm gonna look. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Finding keepers.
Where are we? Yeah, I don't see. Oh, here we go. No, there's no. Oh, tell him to keep it.
Okay, so she's
here.
saying if it's damaged, should she have him return it or tell him to keep it?
Never tell him to keep it. Like, always have him send it back. Always process it like it was a standard return. You're able to determine, number one, did they switch a product out? Which, I mean, it just tells you how that person does business. It's not going to change the fact that you're going to have to refund them, but you're able to refund them original shipping, or you're able to refund them a reduced amount other than the actual purchase price for any damage that may have come through. I mean, just depends on how you want to handle it personally, but I always have everybody refunds or return stuff.
Yep, that's like level 1 scammer test for us. Is as soon as somebody complains, it's return it. We have free returns, and if they say they don't want to return it, they're going to keep it, and it was broken, and they're fine with it, then we're fine with that. And if they're going to return it, that's fine. The only exception I would say we've made to that, and we did it one time, was with a television, like a big CRT TV we shipped. And the guy was really cool. He sent pictures that showed us the TV on with a line through it. It did get broke. And we just had him keep it and we refunded him. But other than that, yeah, there's very few times I would ever do anything other than say send it back.
Yeah, I like the verbiage you use there. Level 1 scammer right there. That's your scammer test. You know, I've been on eBay since '99. I can't tell you how many people that reach out to me and say they wanted a partial refund because something wasn't described right, or it was damaged, or something along those lines. And I always would just tell them to return it. I do not give partial refunds. And magically, I can't tell you how many of those refund requests disappear after that. So that one thing I learned a long time ago is if there's an issue, I will just tell them to return it. I do not give any partial refunds, and I'll give them a full refund once the item is returned and give them a shipping label. Now, there is exceptions to every rule, and if it is something like a TV or like a receiver or something big and bulky, or if I ship glass, like a glass vase, and they send me pictures of the glass, and and it's that the one that you sent them, and it's shattered in pieces or something like that. Yeah, then I'm not going to have them ship them back. That's just more of as a safety issue. So I'll just issue a refund at that point in time. But 99% of the time, I'm going to have them ship it back to me, for them to get the refund.
So for me, this goes back to like Rod saying to be nice. So depending on how that buyer's coming at me is going to depend on my response. Like if they're extremely nasty to me, or like to use caps and scream at me on emphasis on certain words when I know they're not just stuck on cap lock, I'm going to tell them they need to return it for full refund. If they send a picture showing me it was damaged or of damage that I didn't notate, and this has happened where I go back and look at the pictures and I see the damage there, but we did not point it out. And in that case, I will, and here's what I recommend is like have this guy send you pictures of the damage of the stuffed animal. So you want to see the damage that he is claiming, first of all. Never do any negotiations without proof, okay? You want to see proof. And so what I do is I say, what do you feel would be a fair partial refund if I let you keep it? Once I know I'm in the wrong. Like if I can go back at my auction or my listing, see that I missed calling that out. We also had some stuff mismeasured here recently. If it's my fault, I ask them, and I actually, in the last 3 weeks, I had somebody tell me $5, somebody tell me 10%, which was $3. Like that's less than it's going to cost me to ship it back. So you'd be surprised. Some buyers don't expect very much. And I don't feel those are the scammer ones. And somebody else is like, no, you don't need to send me anything. It's okay. I'll just turn it to the back. Like she didn't want, I said, I'm happy to take it back. I'm sorry we didn't disclose it. That's the damage I saw. And she said, no, I'll just turn it to the back. She didn't even want any money. She wanted acknowledgement, which I gave her once I looked at the pictures and saw like, yeah, we missed that. We screwed up. And she did not, she's like, do not send me money. I'm like, okay.
Another thing I do too is this helps for good customer service. I also let the buyer know if there's any issues, say, hey, sorry for any inconvenience I caused you. Let me know. I can send them a 10% off coupon or for anything in my store, which would help, give that buyer satisfaction that, hey, you acknowledge that there's a situation was wrong. Also, too, is you're trying to look out and give them some added value. And that goes a long way. Buyers just want to be acknowledged. They want to know that, hey, this was wrong and you're going to do something about it. And it goes a long way.
Yeah. Owning up to it and not getting defensive, if they're being nice, goes a long way. And I'll tell you, if you're a buyer and you're on the other end, do not go being accusatory because you don't know what happened, and realize that sellers are human beings too. Mistakes happen. It could have been them. It could have been something like my whole FedEx USPS thing. You shipped it to the wrong address. I got yelled at that for 3 times this week.
You get a feel for who's fishing for money pretty quick based on their messages.
You do. Yeah. And those are the ones I'm automatically going to say, we don't do partial refunds. You need to return it.
Especially, it also comes down to category too. Video games are the worst for requesting partial refunds. I would tell you
that's all.
Either it works or it don't. Send it back.
Yeah.
Like that's that.
It was like a 3-second exchange. They sent us a message and said this game doesn't work. We said we offer free return, send it back, and immediately they said, "Oh, it started working."
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Carrie sent $20 super chat and said, "What's the code to crack Mercari? Smart pricing or smart offers, or do you just list it and leave it? And thank you for introducing me to LP after 2 weeks of cross posting. She's paid for 2 months of LP, guys. Awesome. You see, when you cross post, you should see results pretty instant if you're putting the time into it. It should be like within a days. You should see the results. So do you guys, I know you don't sell in Poshmark. Do you sell in Mercari?
As a resident expert, having sold one item on Mercari, yes, I can chime in. No, so I think you can blanket this with anything. The code to it is basically the same that it is for eBay. I think it's the same that it is. I think Poshmark's the only thing that would vary because it's why I don't do it, because the need to share your closet so much. But I think it just starts with what's your price, what's your title, and what's your picture look like? What are you doing to stand out from everybody else? And pricing, I think, affects it on Mercari because their fees are a little bit different. Their fee structure is a little bit different. So you can change your pricing. But all you have to do is think of it this way. It's like, look at what your competitors are asking for it. Look at what they've sold for. And, well, actually, Mercari, I don't know. Can you look at sold? Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some that are
you
on
can see
the
sold
screen
on Mercari,
is sold. Yeah. I just don't know if you can filter it. I know that on the app, you can just see what's sold.
No, but you can filter. You can filter it to sold only.
Okay, so with that, just look at what your competition is and be in that ballpark. If your pictures are better, your title's better, it's going to demand a few more extra dollars. Don't be afraid to ask for it.
Yep. I'd say I have about as much experience on Mercari as Mike does. I think we've sold maybe 2 items there. And it's, I guess I'll tell you the code to Mercari when we figure out the code to eBay. We haven't jumped over wholeheartely and given it a full effort. Mercari's just kind of where we put the stuff eBay tells us we can't sell right now.
That's actually a lot of people do that, which is funny. Yeah, so cross listing. I actually just sold a $112 cast iron piece on Mercari. So it does work with cross listing. For Mercari is a different type of monster than eBay. eBay is going to be one of the biggest marketplaces next to Amazon in the world. You could pretty much, I always say eBay is the place you can find something for anything that you need or want. Where Mercari, you're asking is it smart pricing, smart offers? I think it comes down to smart items. And what I mean by that here is I do see that Mercari is very niche down in a lot of things they do sell. And if you're selling, I have a lot of, I put to cross list all my items on there, but I would say like video games, toys, pop culture items, vintage clothing seem to sell a lot better on Mercari than the other items on there. And I think a lot of that market was based on pop culture to start off with. So I would say it's going to come down to the different items you sell on there. With eBay, you can sell pretty much anything, but I will say if you're going to start, since you just started cross-listing with this perfectly, you're going to start seeing on Etsy and on Mercari that certain items that sell on eBay aren't going to sell on those platforms, and certain items that are going to sell on Mercari and Etsy are going to sell more there than they did on eBay. It's a weird dynamic, so it's something that you're going to have to pretty much reassess. I'm going to say over the next month, and you can probably reassess 3 months out, 6 months out, and you're going to get a better feel probably 3 to 6 months into it, what's selling on Mercari and what you're going to need to do. I would say you are charged a little higher fees on Mercari than you will be on eBay, so keep that in mind. When I usually cross
No, Mercari's only 10%.
No, I thought it was higher than that. Isn't
No,
it?
no,
Is it?
it's less than eBay.
Okay, so less than eBay. Okay. Well, then I retract that statement on that one. But
Mercari's the lowest, except for Facebook Marketplace, of the fees.
And so are the offers.
They're the ones that have the flat rate shipping. Is that correct?
Yeah, they have they actually just added Poshmark has that too. Mercari just added like media mail and some other that they're using now, so they're actually changing it up. But they're usually, the only bad thing about Mercari is they're usually behind the times with a lot of things. You can finally use ship your labels now using what's up?
Yeah, compared to eBay, they're behind the times.
You can finally print your labels
on their labels. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah. So
I remember though, that was when I did it because I had a separate Dymo. I have the Rollo now, but I had that narrow label Dymo that would do like the
little one.
Yeah, the little one.
Yeah, the little long one. So it was perfect for Mercari. And then after I got rid of that, I was just like, nope, not doing it. I ain't. I'm stubborn. I'm old. Who cares?
So I will tell you, I use One Shop for Poshmark as well as Mercari, and it really helps because it refreshes stale listings, and that has made me a lot of sales. So I just pulled up on Mercari for the last 30 days. We've sold $1,008 on Mercari, and I'm going to tell you real quick what I've sold that is still pending. I sold a vintage hat. I sold pottery. I sold dollhouse furniture. I sold a Harley jacket, a Ray Dunn mug, a vintage tablecloth, 2 Simply Southern sweatshirts. So those were hot on there, and 2 boxes. So I was like Rod, where I thought certain things, and that is totally got blown out of the water for me the last month. Everything has been selling like a little handful. That's why I wanted to kind of read through it. But I think that using One Shop to refresh stale listings, I've always noticed with Mercari, it either sells fast or it sits there. So with the refresh stale listings being done with One Shop, the older stuff is selling because it's getting relisted. I'm not physically doing it though. The program does that.
So with One Shop, do they Posh? Are they automatically sending out offers on Mercari for you as well?
No. Okay. No. So I don't do any smart. I do not turn on smart pricing. I'll be danged if they're going to lower my price every single day.
Yeah.
And I don't do smart offers either. One Shop is a add-on. If you want to message me on Instagram, I'll get you a link to it. Unless Marsha still has it, I would have to look it up. I don't have any affiliation, but I think where you get $10 off and I get $10 off or something like that. It's just like what everybody has.
So,
But it's an app on your phone.
So curious, you don't send out any offers then on Mercari?
None.
So for me, Mercari is a little bit different. When you send out, if I'm not mistaken, when you send out one offer, the next
has to be lower.
Has to be lower than the previous one. So when I send out on
10%.
eBay, yeah. So on eBay, I send out my offers every single day. On Mercari, I send out my offers maybe twice a month. And I would only send out newer items that haven't been offers been sent out, just for the fact that next time you try to send an offer, it has to be lower than
you
the
have to
previous
go
offer.
lower.
Yeah.
So Mercari used to let us sort by the most likes, and when they did that, I would send out offers to the items that had like 5 or more likes on it. But they don't let us sort by how many likes anymore, which I hate. I wish they did, because you could sort like which of your items has the most likes, and then you could send offers to the ones with the most watchers. But they don't have that anymore. Yes, it is super, super important to not have all your eggs in one basket, because you don't never know what's going to happen. I'm going to give Carrie a dolphin, and then we are going to give away some stuff, some different stuff, and some regular stuff. That all the stuff. Here is your dolphin.
Kat, I got a quick question for you. Since you're the queen of the sea and you know you're the nurse flipper, do you know the disgruntled octopus?
No.
No, you don't know disgruntled octopus. Okay, just checking. Just checking.
What is that? Now you're gonna have to make me go find it out.
He's just an angry Australian. He or she, I'm not sure, but angry Australian.
They wear a mask. It's funny, and they wear an octopus mask, and they do a reselling show podcast.
That's good.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually funny. Yeah.
That's
so I was just curious.
He
Since
never breaks
you're the nurse
character.
flipper, and with dolphins, thought you might know an octopus.
And we could like get together. Mark, you are late, and you have to wait until after we do all the giveaways. You're really late, my friend. You just got to wait, buddy. All right. First thing. Here you go. Hashtag bubble blend. What is it? Who knows?
Coffee.
I've got some of that on the counter.
Is that the right thing I need, Rod?
Yes. Bubble tea and
American
coffee.
Bubble Boy coffee.
Oh, wow.
I don't drink coffee. So I asked Joel, I said, Joel, I'm keeping the syrup you sent me because I will use the syrup, but I don't drink coffee. So we're giving away Bubble Boy coffee. I heard it's good. Bubble blend.
I've had it. It is good.
It's better than the syrup. I didn't care for the syrup. Teresa liked
Joel
it.
said the syrup was amazing. Better. You didn't like the syrup? I haven't tried it yet.
Well, if Joel wants to save me some money, he can put it in a K-cup and send it my way. But my wife.
See, that's my husband. So I don't drink coffee at all, but my husband and daughter do, but they only use K-cups.
We bought the little K-cup thing that you can put coffee in just for that.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, no. That's extra stuff for my wife. Like, let's be honest.
Listen, if you're a reseller, during the holidays, you know you're putting in long hours, so everybody should be putting in bubble blend. And I cannot believe, Kat, you do not do coffee. You work like 12, 14-hour days and you don't do coffee. Do you take energy drinks?
So I cut down to 1 soda. We actually been going to the gym every day too.
Good job.
Sorry guys, Lucky Jesus is entering tonight. I apologize. Lucky Jesus is lucky. He has won twice in the past few months.
Yeah, if you don't know anything.
Kevin obviously likes Joel's coffee because Kevin's trying to win some more of it.
Kevin just likes free stuff. That Commonwealth flipper.
Yeah.
I think we all like free stuff. We're all resellers. We like free. That's the right price. Right?
He came to my house. You know what he was doing? He was taking stuff out of my cabinets and putting it in his bag to take home with him. He just said, he goes, I was like, hey, help yourself to something. I mean, hey, you want to get a bag of chips? He put in 4 bags of chips in his bag and left. So, Commonwealth Steeler.
See, look, Drew likes the syrup. Okay, I got to try the syrup this weekend, so I can get in on
bourbon?
This discussion.
If you like bourbon, you'll probably like the syrup.
Oh, I love.
Yeah,
bourbon.
I do like.
I'm not a fan of bourbon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's bourbon maple syrup. If you guys don't know, he said he left the dogs and cats. You should be thankful. All right, let's pick a winner
Pick a winner.
for some coffee. Dun, 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 dun. And if you win, you just have to email me your mailing address, thenurseflipper@yahoo.com.
Yeah, we need to talk about what I picked up this week, by the way.
Ashley won. Okay, we'll talk about it. Talk about it now while I put in another thing.
Have you, for everyone on the panel here, I'm curious, have you guys ever made a purchase and then instantly regret your purchase after like going thrifting or going yard sailing or buying online auctions? Have any of you guys done that?
Every time I've logged into Whatnot.
Every time I walk into Whatnot, yeah.
Okay, this is not for tape. Hashtag my go-to tape, but it's not for tape. It is for a tape the tape dispenser.
Oh, I didn't know they had those.
This is a new product from Joel at American Bubble Boy. We are now commercial. And Joel sent me this, and I already have tape dispensers. So Joel said I could give it away. And I think Joel is going to give us more of these to give away. So my go-to tape dispenser. New product
Joel,
on the market.
I'll be putting in my order.
Commonwealth, don't forget.
This
So what did you buy that you regretted?
So I bought a fire hydrant this weekend at a garage sale because
A real one?
A real one. And the
Suckers
thing
are heavy.
weighs like 150 pounds. And I had to load it up on my truck. It comes with a free hernia after you load it up. And but no, it literally the thing goes for like $400 or $500, but I paid $50 for it. And I just couldn't turn it away. But like as I bought it, I'm trying to roll this thing out. The guy had to help me carry it to the truck. And now it's still in my truck since Saturday. It's laying in the bed of my truck. So
where are you going to sell it?
Like, listen, I have a same scenario, kind of.
Same scenario? I'm going to try selling it.
Meat slicer. Mine's a meat slicer that's worth like $1,000, but it's almost 200 pounds. And like, it's still not listed. It's sitting on the floor of the shed. And it's worth over $1,000 because I'm like, I don't want to ship this. So hopefully I'm going to make sure I put local pickup on that one too. It's like an industrial meat slicer.
So would you ship
anybody needs one?
Would you ship yours by freight? Because I can't, that thing, if I put this fire extinguisher in 5 boxes, that thing's
like fall through a box, right?
I can put in multiple boxes. It's going to fall through all of them. That thing.
I think I could strengthen a box. I think I could ship it in maybe 2 boxes because it has 2 separate pieces. But yeah. And again, guys, it's not tape, it's a tape dispenser.
So everyone keeps telling me I should put it in my backyard for my dogs.
I was going to say sell it to a dog park.
Yeah, I could do that. But I I posted on Instagram and I didn't tell my wife I bought one. She's like, "Oh, very interesting. You left out the part that you bought a fire extinguisher, fire hydrant." But what if I take it to UPS? Will they package it for me and ship it out, or is that too heavy for them?
No, they would package it, I think. But a lot of people are saying sell local, and you're in a good area. I think you could sell it locally.
Yeah, I'm going to try to sell it local, but at the end of the day, I think I get. Just because of the brand of the fire hydrant, I would, get more money selling it online, but it's going to be such a pain in the butt.
But put it online for local pickup, and somebody might be willing to drive a few hours if they're a collector.
UPS says they'll take up to 150 pounds, so you should be
safe. Up to 150 pounds?
Fresh urine.
Yep.
Make sure. Fresh urine, it sells way faster.
Fresh urine on it?
All right, let's pick a winner for this, and then I have three more giveaways tonight. Dun, 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 dun. Remember, email me, thenurseflipper@yahoo.com. Who's going to win the tape dispenser? Okay, Circa, Miss Jill takes it. All right, now, this I've never given away either. I'm telling you, the last ones you're used to, but you can't guess these. So this one's just going to be hashtag list perfectly. But this, look, I'm giving you List Perfectly socks.
Oh, nice.
List Perfectly socks and some List Perfectly listing party stickers.
So Mark put on here that I should ship it without a box. You think that would be safe to ship that without a box? Just ship it as is?
No, it's brittle.
Could the paint get
damaged? Well, I don't know. So there's certain things that I've shipped in the original box, like some electronics.
Yeah.
And I won't double box it because, you know, obviously you have your styrofoam. I'll do some fill in there, but a lot of the times they're going to take more care of it.
Yeah.
Versus like when they're able to see what it is. I mean, they're not sitting there. I'll never slap fragile stickers on it. I've heard the horror stories with that.
Yeah.
But if you were to ship something like that, they're going to know exactly what it is, how to handle it. They'll probably put it in the right place, right little nook and cranny. And
unless they're having a bad day.
Yeah.
Unless they're having a bad day. And they're like, I got to ship a fire hydrant.
If I brought this thing to UPS by my house, not one employee is going to be able to list it. They all have like these, they're all like 17, 18-year-old like high school students that weigh 120 pounds soaking wet.
It'll take like 3 of them to lift it up.
Yeah, I don't think all 3 can lift it, to be honest with you.
They got a dolly. They'll be okay. They'll make do.
They make do.
Out the door, yes. Out the door, yes. You Canadians can participate, and I'll suck it up and pay for it. These I'm paying for all the shipping, but the next ones we are not. Okay, so let's pick a winner for List Perfectly Socks, and then we're gonna do our weekly GRO pack. I skipped it last week just because I felt we needed to change it up a little bit. So who's winning the socks?
Why is it going so slow?
Shanna, Simply Shenanigans takes the socks and the stickers. So email me, and now I'm going to show you guys because I got new stuff in and I'm using them a lot. So I want to show you. Hashtag GRO pack.
Man,
and if you haven't bought from them, you get 10% off with my code. But if you have bought from them, the code's only good for once, but they send out codes all the time. So I just got these bigger polys, like padded ones, and we're using these for all kinds of things, like our flat boxes, the Hermes scarf boxes and stuff. I've been using these a lot. And I had like a wood picture frame. Anyways, I've been using these. So if you win GRO pack, you can pick whatever size, whatever color, padded, not padded. You pick it, they'll ship it to you at their expense. So this one, you'll need to go, if you win, you need to go to gropack.com, pick what color and size you want, and then you email me and tell me with your mailing address, and I will pass it on to GRO Pack. Because you got to make sure it's in stock. Don't tell me something that's not in stock. And I think the Daisy Polys are still in stock. We use these all the time too. So if you buy stuff from me, you will see those. And I think I was going to look it up. The crazy thing to me is these on GRO Pack are only 50 cents each. Like, that's crazy. 50 cents.
What are the size of those? Like
11 by 15 or 14. So like my older license plates that don't fit in the envelopes I have for them, like the 1930s, 1940s are like 1.5 inches longer. They'll fit in these where they won't fit in my, like I have standard license plate envelopes.
Right.
But they're only 50 cents. They're like, and the small ones are only like 30 or 20. These are cheap. They're the cheapest place to get them. And we go through a lot. Kevin does not like me. That's why he's not on the panel. He said he'll never, ever come on this show. Ever. He really didn't say that. But I have asked him. But I haven't asked him in probably 3 years, I will say. It's been a while.
The internet's not any better. It doesn't matter. It still sucks. I crossed Virginia and like AT&T doesn't exist up there. They're still on Bell North Systems or something. I don't know. So
you can bug him if he wants to test his internet. Then he can tell me. Kevin is welcome whenever he would like to come on here, but I will not be asking. He met his limit. All right, are we ready? We're picking 2 winners, guys. Let's pick it, and then we'll get back to Mark's late super chat. Late. Da, 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 da. Joe Samard is the first winner, and I'm going to draw it again, guys. Da, 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 with the confetti still flying. Tracy is the other winner. Congrats. So you guys need to go to their website, pick what you want, and then email me. Big money, no whammies, no whammies. I love that show.
Apparently,
I really love it.
was not lucky tonight.
Lucky Jesus did not win, so you can all take a sigh of relief that he did not win tonight. All right. Mark's late fee. Let's give him a super chat. Here you go. Dun, 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 dun. I love that show. I will watch reruns of the Whammies. No whammy, no whammy, no. You know what I was watching last night, and I haven't watched them forever. Family Feud.
I love
I don't
Family
know why
Feud.
I was just watching Steve Harvey for like 3 hours. I'm like, I don't know, whatever.
Now, is Steve Harvey the best at Family Feud?
Oh, that's a
Or
good question.
I love
For
Steve
me, yeah.
Harvey. I listen to Steve Harvey's motivational speakings on YouTube. I'm a big Steve Harvey fan.
Yeah, okay.
I love
I
Steve
love
Harvey.
him.
Yeah. Who else was the host? It was Drew Carey, and who else was the host in the past?
And Drew
Louis
Carey,
Anderson
Drew
back in
Carey's
the
on
day.
The Price is Right.
Oh,
What
yeah,
was
Price is
Mark?
Right.
Yeah.
What was that guy's name? Mark.
Oh no, Louis, the guy who played Louis was also
Louis Anderson
Louis Anderson was
on there before.
Yeah.
I don't know. Richard Dawson, way back in the day.
The first
Was
guy.
Richard Dawson on there? Richard Dawson.
Who was the blonde-haired
no.
guy? Is that who that is?
Whoever the original host was good, and I like Steve Harvey. I think Steve Harvey's the best though.
Richard Dawson's the one that just kisses everybody. I mean, it was back in the day on Match Game, which y'all probably know nothing about. Cat
No, I
maybe.
watch. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Lewis says, I feel
I
you can show your I liked all them. And I'll watch them like on reruns if I'm like zoning out.
Yeah.
So Lewis says he feels as if too many resellers are looking to buy on eBay and flip stuff on another platform. What do you say about that?
You're going to look at a buy on eBay just to flip on another platform. I don't know how they do that. Like, yeah, I guess you have to just find the obscure stuff and look for the auctions, have the item saved. Anybody that's doing a buy it now, I mean, maybe some things slip through the cracks. But that's just, I mean, we as professional resellers, like we do it. Sometimes we're going to mislabel something and it's going to come up as the wrong thing. Somebody's going to notice it and they're going to profit off of it. But I have no concept of anybody trying to buy stuff on eBay to do it on a different platform. That buy stuff from my whatnot, and you can make money on eBay all day long. Dave does it. So that's it, Corey.
Send me an offer. Tell me you're a reseller. I'll cut you a deal.
No,
okay, I think that's great.
I like this guy right here. Free King Flipper.
For another one?
Yeah,
don't hate the player, hate the game. Pretty much. Listen, it doesn't matter where we are, if it's on eBay, Mercari, whatnot, an auction house, your flea market. Hell, when I go to Walmart, I look for items to flip. Like Ross, Marshalls. That's in their nature. That's if you're not, I mean, you're not a reseller if you're not on eBay trying to find items to flip. I literally have saved searches on my phone when those items pop up from newly listed items to hope that I can find them underpriced so I can buy them and to flip online. I've had them set on my phone for years. So yeah, absolutely. We all do it. It's part of the game.
Your phone.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people who buy on eBay to flip on eBay too.
Yeah, I did it for a long time.
Yeah, I don't think it's that popular on, or I'd say it's not as readily available on there. Now trust me, if I'm taking advantage of anything, like go to divdit.com and wait for them to do their first live, and Dave's going to be putting stuff on there for $2.
Yeah,
and y'all are going to be paying $3 or $4, but that's just growing pains. So I mean, I'll take advantage of something like that. You take advantage of like new whatnot buyers, and people have done the same with me. But at the same time, Rod has taught me something. It's like, hey, take the fast nickel over the slow dime, and if your buy cost is low, it's the perfect thing. I mean, that's what places like whatnot and divdit.com are for. So,
we did just sell a big lot of used cell phones, and we didn't have charges for any of them. They were all from auction or storage units. We just put them in a big box and sold them off as a lot. I know a good reseller with the right expertise could probably make a lot of money on that. It wasn't our gig, so we loaded them up and sold them. So there's always deals out there. nobody has an expertise in everything. I mean, there's always going to be a deal.
But not to mention though, if you know there's buyers on there, that I mean, if you know buyers, resellers are looking to buy, create wholesale lots. I mean, I just sold 9 or 10 Nike dry fit polo shirts. I put them in a giant lot because I didn't want to list them individually. Someone got a great deal. I think I sold like $110. Someone could pop those off for $25 a piece if they wanted to and double their money. You know, so there's a reason why there is a wholesale category on eBay. J-Ride was just on the show, a couple weeks ago. He said he's on eBay. He buys lots on eBay
Or eBay.
to resell.
There's always somebody out there willing to buy a fire hydrant. I'd unload it cheap.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. So my thought on this is
check it out.
What is that? Who is it? What is that?
My Siri went off on my computer, on my Mac.
I'm like, what is talking to me? I thought I was hearing things. So my thought on this is this, and as long as I get what I'm asking for the item, I don't give a crap who buys it and what the hell they're doing with it. If they're going to go, and here's the thing, and this goes with what everybody's saying, we're not all experts. So let's say I paid $1 for something, I get 50. I'm happy, right? I turned $1 into 50. But somebody who knows more than me knows my $50 item's really worth 500. Am I mad at them? No, because they have more knowledge than me, and I'm happy I made my $50. So I think it's a win-win for both sellers, because obviously if you're selling it at that price, that's what you want. You should be happy no matter who the heck buys it, right? Like,
absolutely. There's a chain of command. We don't always have to be the last that we sell to the last person of that chain of command. We can be the middle person that flips to another reseller who's going to sell it too. That's the part of reselling. That's why it's so important. If you buy low, it doesn't matter. You can sell stuff and still make a profit, and someone else will make a profit off of you. Or you can sell just bigger lots that way. You know, there's difference. You can either A, sell items for a high dollar, or B, sell a lot of quantity for a low dollar. You know, there's different ways to be a reseller.
And mine's a mix of that. And I am all like, that's why I do different things, you know, like Rod sold me his boxes. I sell stuff where people can make a profit on my Whatnot auctions. There is plenty of room to make a profit when I sell on Whatnot. Junk Monkey saying bought on Yahoo auctions. Like I don't care if I'm the middleman. If I'm like 10 timesing my money and you can go do it again, more power to you. You know, I'm happy for you. I don't care.
Yeah, a lot of
people.
Yeah, you are.
So,
actually,
a lot of people source on eBay. Like I sell my hankies individually for like 10, 15, $20, and I'll go buy them on eBay for $1 a piece. And I'm going to go put them up individually where somebody didn't want to do the work to put them up individually, you know, but they're probably happy with what they got. I'm going to go flip them. So I have bought stuff like that on eBay.
Everybody we all get to set our own price.
Yeah, it's true. We do say, I mean, everybody in this panel can probably say that they had an Amazon buyer buy something from their store and we had to drop ship it to their customer, you know,
all the time. Yep.
All the time. Right. Yep. So yes, I mean, people are shopping on there all the time from one platform to another. It's part of what we do.
Yeah.
I love those buyers. You never hear anything bad from those guys.
Yeah.
No, they can't really say anything because they're not the end buyer.
Yeah.
We're going to have to start running some List Perfectly and JR packs for all the people that are 10 minutes behind in the video. Right?
It happens. It happens.
I know.
Listen, the funny thing is when they're early. So when I do the same giveaways for a few weeks in a row, they start putting it in early and try and be sneaky.
I like when you post the replays up and then like 4 days later, I go check the comments and people are commenting like two hours earlier on a replay that happened, you know, the show that happened days ago.
It happens. Vicky wants to know, when you start a sale, do your followers get notified, or like your watchers on your items? Do they get notified that the item's on sale?
Yeah. So eBay, anytime that I viewed an item, and it's not just something that you're following or you have on your watch list, they'll get a notification. This is something that I've just searched. Like, hey, this recently searched item, your recently viewed item was reduced. And it's the same thing. Like sometimes if somebody even just looks at it, it's going to send you a notification of an offer or like an update, because it's in eBay's best interest. It's like the more eyes they get on these items, especially if they're promoted, then the more money that they make in the end.
Yeah, but we don't do a lot of sales. We don't do them often, I guess, very rarely. But when we do, I'm not sure if your eBay store followers get notified, but we generally, once we get the sale all set up, we go to the marketing back end and we send out an email to all our past customers. So we fire it out that way. But I'm not sure
Does
as far
that
as
work?
the actual eBay followers. We have got sales from that. Yep.
Yeah, I think it only sends out a notification to the people that are watching your items if you put that item on discount, not to the people that your followers on there.
Right.
I want to talk about one other thing. Everyone put in the chat about Yahoo auctions. I didn't realize that it shut down in 2007, but it's actually still open for Japan and Taiwan. They actually still use Yahoo auctions over there. Interesting.
Yeah.
It's close with shipping for China. That's why.
Yeah.
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 On eBay, at the bottom of some listings, there's a store advertised. Does anybody know how you get your store to be there?
Only bid the store is advertised. Well, no, I don't. I mean, probably some of the pay promotion things. Like right now, they started that new program on there where you can promote certain things, like on top of the items. I forgot what it is, but I don't even promote my items. There was
maybe
that
somebody in the chat will know.
I think it's the promoted display, like it's the third option in. So you have standard promoted, you have the advanced, and then you have promoted display. I think the display one gets you placements like that where you're on the bottom of listings and stuff. I'm not 100%
the low price
that,
of 49%.
That's how I understood it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would have to do something in SEO search. I mean, SEO increase your search on that. So, yeah, I don't know. That's something I guess we'll have to look into and maybe get back with you guys next week, unless Kat knows.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we'll have to look into that. Patty wants to know if anyone else is getting mail delivery on Sundays now. Our guy even has a fancy new van with a rocking stereo system and a heater.
No on Sundays yet.
No, nothing on Sunday here. Well, every once in a while we'll have an Amazon Prime show up on Sunday, but
yeah, UPS or FedEx will, but
Nope.
I've never had USPS yet.
The Postal Service does have a deal with Amazon as well, and I think they do deliver Amazon packages sometimes on Sundays for them, because I've had packages show up. But also, I mean, even though that they say that they're closed on Sundays, the Postal Service ships 365 days a year. So they're shipping, planes, they're shipping to the shipping hubs, they're shipping all year round.
Yeah, I've gotten some, but it's not every Sunday. FedEx does deliver on Sundays. UPS does not, at least here. FedEx, but sometimes our mail lady, and they're actually are on split shift. They're actually delivering twice a day to us now. So, they will do expedited and overnight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rosie said, I recently picked up a large book lot. Does anyone on the panel have any advice on creating subject-based lots, or what dollar value per lot would you recommend for lotting up books?
Just lots in general, absolutely. So you want to take similar items, the subject matter, and then the value dollar per lot, depending on the size of the lot. And you'll look up your similar comps, and like, let's say it's a set that's commonly sold, then go with that price. If it's something that you're creating and you're trying to motivate somebody, take the price of individual books and then do 70 to 80% off of that if you're bundling it together, and then create your own. I mean, you got to create your own market for it.
Yeah, it's a great question. I would have asked this same one because we're in the same position with our storage unit we just bought, that we have a bunch of books. We scanned everything and we pulled the standouts that were worth a decent amount of money. Then we grouped them up by author, and we're going to bundle them that way. And after that, there's going to be a bunch of stragglers that will probably group up by topic, or genre, but we have no experience. We're just going to give it a shot. We don't know.
Yeah, so Mike did give a good answer, pretty good answer on that. What I usually do is, and Corey, you're right on the money with what you should be doing. A lot by author, a lot by genre, a lot by subject matter. The biggest things right there.
Mhm.
Anytime I have a big lot of books, if each book's $5, I'm going to cut those down to like $3 a book and put them in a giant lot at a discounted rate. Just for the fact that big book lots do take up a lot of space, and typically they're slower sellers, more long tail items. But I do buy a lot of books, and then normally what I'll do is if I get a giant lot of books, which I've had numerous times, I'll take out the ones, double, triple my money, and then what I have left over, if it's just a bunch of stragglers, sometimes I just donate them just to clear them out, clear the space out. I'm already going to make my money off the ones I have there, reduce the space, because time is also money, and I don't want to spend all this time on just some straggler books that are going to get me a couple extra bucks each. So that's what I normally do in my lots. I'll take out the good ones, sell those individually, lot up the ones, especially if you have anything like horror, sci-fi, anime, comic related. Those things always sell really well. And then certain authors and rest of them just donate.
Yeah, I would say watch Katie Reads if you don't watch her already. She specializes in books. She's a good friend of mine. Katey. I don't know if Marsha can find that link for you. I don't really pick up.
Katye.
Listen, buddy.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure it's Katye.
Okay, go look it up. And you get back to me and you let me know. You're gonna listen. You'll learn like my husband's learned over the years.
All I know is she makes bookmarks.
God dang it! Okay.
The alphabet is not Mike's friend, so just we'll let it slide, Mike.
It's
all right?
okay. Listen, I reverse the zip codes. We write the zip codes on the eBay packages. I invert two numbers all the time, and my husband's like, "You did it again! You did it again!" I'm like, I don't know why. Like zip codes just go all wonky in my head.
See, that's his fault. I mean, he wants to continuously argue with you and be wrong. First time, I'm not going to do it again. I mean, I can't stand to be wrong to two women in my life, but I give you one time. That's it.
So look, Brooke is back from Dothan, Alabama. I guess that's her road to look. She looks so happy with me, doesn't she?
Hey, Brooke, you was just telling us how she bought it on a lot. You got to go back to Alabama.
She couldn't pay me enough.
So I probably wouldn't pick up big book lots. I used to when I sold on Amazon, but I probably wouldn't pick them up again unless they were very topic specific or I knew I had authors. Like I would not go blind pick up a big lot. But I think everybody explained like how to put them together pretty well. And I would want, like me, I would want a $15 to $20 value before shipping on the lot. If I were going to lot them up, that would be my minimum. And if I couldn't make that, I would just not list them. I would redonate them.
15 to 20, it better be a small lot. Like
three books.
Yeah, the larger the lot, the larger the price. If it's taking up space, like I'm like a rod. Like if it just doesn't excite me, donate it.
Drew, I hope you know the answer for me on this, but I'm going to ask this. Have any of you had a buy that by the volume of the buy turns you into a niche seller?
Yeah.
You just did one wrestling figures.
Well, I mean, no, that's one auction that I did on Whatnot. So the biggest thing was I spent like $2,300. I think it's the largest purchase that I've had individually. But it was a ton of N64 games that were in cases and a lot of Amiibo, Marvel Legends, and World of Nintendo stuff. And it had a lot of old Blockbuster stuff that I went back and got. But all of this I think that the N64 games ended up being like 8,000, and then the Marvel Legends, it ended up being like a $15,000 to $17,000 deal after everything was done.
Nice.
But it was just so much stuff that it just. But it's got a barcode, so game on. I'm good. That's when I got to start typing stuff. I'm just like, I can wait. Just toss it over there. But yeah, the only reason I did it, it was a cool item, and it was a niche that I already like. Now, am I going to do it with something that I don't like? Don't do it, because it's going to sit. I've got value sitting in the shed, but there's no desire without it being something that you like. So that's my best advice.
Yep. We did. It was one of our early buys, and it was almost by accident. We got to test the market with a small bunch of them and then go back and buy the warehouse full of them. And it was 1988 NFL football cards, brand new boxes, sealed. And that's Bo Jackson's rookie year. And we just had case upon case of those things. I think we're going to be selling those for probably the next 5 years, but I think we're about 20 grand in the profit at this point.
Wow,
And there's just no, the only reason we did it, we don't like cards, and they're not anything we're interested in, but they're sealed boxes in sealed cases, and it was multi-quantity. We have 3 different types. We have the wax packs with the gum in them, the normal cellophane packs with the gum, and then the jumbo packs without the gum. So it was 3 listings, and we're done. And like I said, we'll be selling those for the next 5 years easy.
Well,
I'll buy a lot of farmland in South Dakota.
Yeah, it does. I can get another chicken.
So this is actually one of my favorite things to do, and this is what I like to call paying for my education. And I can't tell you how many massive lots I have bought over the years where I knew that there was value there. I knew I could make money on it, but at the same point in time, it helped expand my knowledge. If you guys have seen any of my recent videos, you saw I made these giant Disney pin buys. And literally, I'm on pace probably to, I don't know, make $20,000 to $30,000. No, actually, no, more than that. Probably over 30 to 40,000 on these pins. What actually totally gross sales, not I minus my costs and fees off that. So I'll probably make about 20 grand or 25 grand off all this stuff. But like, I bought, thousands and thousands of Disney pins. I bought massive toy collections of action figures and GI Joes, which now I know a lot about GI Joes, just from doing that. I bought massive collections of Thomas the Train, which now I know about Thomas the Train. I've done that with video games over the years. Designer boxes. That's how Kat got her started. Pretty much all the designer boxes. So it's one of the best things resellers. If you have the space and if you have at least somewhat knowledge not to get burnt in the situation, but I highly recommend that you, if it makes sense, make the buy, because it will help educate you. And then going forward, you're just not going to pull down the low-hanging fruit. You're becoming an expert in that category. And now you will search and look for those items because you know everything there is about those items. So it's one of the best things I think any reseller can do to expand their knowledge in certain categories.
Or sorry to interrupt. Or
go ahead. No, you're good.
He's straight up the Disney guy. And I mean, you just get to the point that like even the people that are dealing on the corner are like, Disney guy down there. And yeah, he's the definition of a niche seller. He doesn't sell anything else right now. He quit.
Yeah, right.
So for me, I said this because if you watch me for any length of time, I am a different niche seller every few months because I love the big lots. And then what happens? So right now I'm a box seller. I like Rod on his Disney will probably make $40,000 to $50,000 on my box buy that I did off of a $4,000 investment. I don't think I ever said how much I paid for them, but I paid right at $4,000 for over 2,000 boxes. And we have already made probably 20,000 in gross sales on them, and within less than 2 months. So, and then my license plates, I bought 1,200 of them. So like more than half of our sales were license plates. But like Rod, so today, just as an example, I got in a lot of empty pen boxes, okay? Fancy pen boxes that sell for $10 to $20 a piece. I got them on auction really cheap. So now I look for boxes, not just the designer boxes. I'm looking for other boxes. And in that same box was a stack of 30 license plates because I still buy them because I knew they sold well. They're easy to list and ship. So all of that I'm a niche for a few months till the quantity dwindles down, I continue buying. But most of those lots, you're never going to find that again. Like my 600 Harley pins. Rod got lucky because they have contacts, so he got more. But like my Harley pin from an estate, I'll have to find another estate of a Harley pin collector, and that might not ever happen. But
if you do come across Harley pins, you will know if there's just a small.
I know which ones are valuable. Yeah, and I know to look them up. Same with the license plates.
You're missing the most important one, though. You weren't a jewelry seller until Whatnot reached out to you.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
I mean, the amount of quantity that you're doing, though. That's what I'm
no, but that was one of my pre-Rod. That was in Julian days. I went through a 3-month phase of buying nothing but jewelry. Okay. And then I get bored. I can't like, if you haven't noticed that, guys, I get bored and I like switch it up. So I did a lot and I felt like my audience was getting bored with it too. Yes, listen. So Rod, you weren't around during the crab days. Okay.
I mean, we put out pre-Rod days.
Listen, I bought pre-Rod. The crab jewelry, I bought 200. It just said crab brooches and they're in little plastic bags. I had Christian Dior. I had Joseph of Hollywood. I had multiple $300, $400, $500 crab brooches that I paid $2 for. So for months, I was selling all these $100, $200, $300, like little tiny brooches. Yes, pin boxes. And I found some more Tiffany. Listen, the Tiffany boxes. So I'm going to tell you guys, and I got a lot off of an auction. The Tiffany boxes with the hard jewelry boxes inside are typically worth over $100 a piece. Just so you guys know, I won a lot of Tiffany boxes with the jewelry boxes inside for about $200, and just 2 boxes will cover that. And it's a lot of them. And my Tiffany boxes I got in my prior lot, they removed the hard boxes. So none of mine were worth that much. But from researching, I knew if I find a Tiffany box with the hard jewelry case, I'm going to make a lot of money.
I think that goes across the board too, with even like Louis Vuitton and the other ones. The jewelry boxes, they have an outer box and then a box inside of it. So having both those combined, they get a premium. Because even the Louis Vuitton, like watch boxes and other things I sold with a double box like that, and they were getting me like $70, $80 a pop. So those are just hot sellers, I think, across the board.
Now, were you doing the crab jewelry on Whatnot back then?
No. And the crab jewelry, if I got it now, would not go on Whatnot either because it's $200 and $300 and $400 pieces. The lower end stuff would. I have some Native American. What I've been doing, I will offer stuff on Whatnot at about 50% of eBay. So like a $500 bracelet, I'll offer it for $250, which would still leave somebody $150 of profit after fees if they wanted. I'll normally run it or offer it up like twice on Whatnot, but I don't give it away. Like I do half of what, eBay sale would. And if they don't take it after twice, I throw it up on eBay. And I had a Hobey bracelet that I was offering for $1,000. And it sold for like $1,800 in a day. So somebody could have made a quick $500-$600. And I told them like, this is going to sell fast. Nobody took it. And I put it on eBay. It sold the next day. So, but the higher stuff that I know is higher, most of that I'm not going to start lower anymore, and I'll offer it where I feel is fair, where there's still, there's still room for profit for a reseller, but not, I'm going to make a little bit too, especially if it's fast selling names. That's the thing. So I'm going to tell you guys one of these pin boxes, and I couldn't see the name on them. We went through them all. I think they're in here. I have an exclusive Mercedes-Benz pin box. There is only one listed, and it's at $130 for a pin box. I did not pay that for all of the pin boxes.
What's the maker of the pin? Like
That,
the brand.
well, so they're
Like-
actually Marquise by Waterford. There's some Cross in there, Waterman, the Mercedes Benz, and there are a couple of other Italy names that I wasn't familiar with, but it looks like, so the Waterman is what I got the most of. They sell for about 10 a box. So we're gonna, yes, a writing pen, Miss Barbara. Yes, a writing pen. We're gonna lot the $10 boxes up in lots of 2 and sell them for 20 because I want that minimum $20 threshold. And then the ones that I couldn't find sold listings of, I'm going to make a big lot of the leftovers and just put designer pin empty boxes and probably auction and let it go. Yeah, the Mercedes Benz one. And I mean, you know, and Rod knows, I don't know if you guys know, but like some of these boxes, you can tell they are like high quality. Like
Absolutely.
you touch that box and you're like, holy
Oh
crap.
yeah, it has weight to it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I like
definitely.
to say, just like if you bought like a cashmere sweater compared to like a regular sweater, you can just pick the piece of clothing up and just
You
feel
can
it.
feel it.
That's what these boxes are. I mean, they're high craftsmen.
Except
they're
for
heavy
Hermes.
duty.
I will tell you, the Hermes boxes are expensive and they are the crappiest quality there is. And they have the most expensive things in them and they're the poorest quality boxes.
I think that's the good thing about lots in the first place for us, though, because a lot of that stuff, like the boxes, had we not bought a big lot of something and learned about it, we'd walk by it 10 out of 10 times at a garage sale or a thrift store. I mean, we just did probably a pickup load and a half full of Robert Graham jackets and shirts that we got out of a storage unit.
Oh, that's good.
We'd have never picked one of those up ever.
Yeah.
But now I
that's
know.
crazy how you can learn about it. Had I not been on here, I'd have kept calling it Hermes. But thank you very much, Kat.
Listen, my employees still do. They're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, I'm real bad about Christian Louboutin. I still say Louboutin. I'm like, whatever. And then the pronunciation police come get me, and it happens. Sometimes I'm right and they're wrong, and then I give them a Google link to how to pronounce the word. That's the best pronunciation police comments that I get when I know I'm actually right. Okay, Rob, what do you sell on Poshmark?
Well, Rob, if you guys don't know, he's my twin brother, so I'll answer for him. What I sell, whenever I have in my eBay store, I actually cross-list everything over there. So things I've sold recently on there, I've sold like 4 pounds of Legos. I've sold clothing. It started off as my wife's boutique that she was doing because she was going thrifting with me. Probably like 2 years ago, she wanted to just have a little boutique and stuff. And then life just got in the way. She kind of stopped listing things on there. So I just took it over once I got list perfectly. And I was only cross-listing clothing until I started seeing a bunch of other resellers just selling everything on there. So now I list everything on there, and you'll be surprised. Some things do sell in there. Mostly though, I mostly sell clothing on there, but I do sell all kind of random stuff.
Do you think that it affects your store though? Like having a variety of stuff on Poshmark versus like being niched down?
Overall, I don't think so because originally started out with clothing, but if they're adding other categories on there, they're encouraging people to list other things on there and expanding their marketplace. So if a marketplace is expanding, good.
I get offers on multiple like license plates when I have 6,000 items. They'll search my closet for just what they want. Like I've had a lot of sales on Posh of like 5 license plate bundles.
Yeah, so if you don't know, like you guys don't sell on Poshmark, the cool thing about Poshmark over eBay and other platforms is they allow you to bundle items together, which is a kind of a cool feature compared to some of the other ones.
And so still only pay $7 in shipping.
Yeah. So I mean, even though my $100 items, $200 items, and I get an offer for $20, it's still kind of a cool thing. So
yeah,
we're still struggling to combine shipping on eBay for global.
Yeah. Yeah, just be careful on Posh. I have declined offers on bundles because if it's over 5 pounds, you have to pay a ton extra for shipping. Yeah. So be very, very careful on the bundles if they go over 5 pounds. Oh, Miss Barbara wants the pillow fight. And then Rod has another question. Thank you, Miss Barbara. Here is pillow fight. That's her favorite. Dalton was very mad at me for letting Brooke go to Alabama today and take my car. He was very upset that she was not home when he got home from school. And she told me, this is what she came in here to tell me, Mom, be very careful when you open your doors, because apparently they were shoving stuff in the back from the front. So she said, when I open my doors, it's going to explode with clothes.
Excellent.
She's like, be very careful.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
And I want to say she's the one who wanted to go because she said, Mom, I need more hours. And I said, I can go pick it up. And she, no, I'll go. So, and I bet you she would go. I sent her to Tampa to pick up 2,000 shirts one time in her little Honda Civic. She's like, Mom, I did that. I could do that. So she knows, like, when I send you to pick up something, like, you're not going to be able to see out the windows. That's just how I roll. Okay, Rod. Were you able to figure out the situation with Dave's comic books and the person who was copying his listing?
All right. So for those that don't know, Dave, ADH Dave, bought when we were at the Cincinnati, the reseller rally, he bought $200 worth of comic books. These comic books were first appearances of like Black Panther, Fantastic Four, a bunch of other stuff. It ended up being like $10,000 to $15,000 worth of comic books, ridiculous amount of comic books. I let him use my account to send off 5 or 6 comic books to get professionally graded by CGC. They came back. You can go watch his video, but spoiler, it's about an $8,000 range of books he's gotten back. He listed them on eBay, and when he listed them on eBay, someone was taking his exact listings and relisting them at a higher price. So my thought on that is, why would someone do that? Is that someone was hoping that they would purchase the item from them and they would just buy it from Dave and drop ship it. So that's what I thought. That's what I think they were doing. Hoping to make $500, $400 and not have to do anything. So that's my situation. Just because all the publicity Dave was putting on it, Dave has done probably several different videos where he's talked about it and gone through it. That would be the only thing that would make sense to me why someone would want to do that to him. So yeah.
But like for me, if they paid me, I would do it. I don't care. Go copy all my 6,000 listings at a higher price and pay me, and I'll ship it to your buyer.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I've heard of people actually going and copying eBay listings, and then they promote to Google Shopping so that people on Google are finding it more easily, and they're buying off of eBay, and then they go back and purchase the original one. So it may be what it was. I mean, it'd be pretty easy to market that kind of comic on Google rather than eBay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care. Like, have at it. As
Me?
long as I get my money, I'm good.
This goes back to what we were talking about earlier, though. Drop shipping or resellers buying off other resellers to make money. Like, do what you got to do.
Yeah, but at some of the prices on the graded comics, it's really, really difficult because you have to think of what the fees coming off the top of you, plus your promotion fees that you're going to do it. Like, you're going to have to price something at like, say, for instance, one of Dave's comics is $1,500.
Yeah.
And you're trying to make a profit on that. You've got to do 20% higher than that, which is an additional $300 just to even like nip at a profit.
So,
and like,
that's what we call a them problem.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is when you're doing
it's not worth your time, though.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you think about though. I mean, you're literally copying someone's listing and relisting it on eBay for $800, $900 higher than what they have it on there.
Oh, no, I'm talking about 3 or 4.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing: is those items are so unique. Like, even though that they're graded, those grading scales can go, anywhere. Like in the past, that comic book has sold for $400 or $500 higher than what Dave has it listed for. So they do fluctuate over time. So when you are dealing with high-end collectibles, it is possible that someone could just, hey, want that comic book, saw that guy's listing over Dave's because he promoted at a higher rate, and then buy it, and then just buy it from Dave and have it drop ship. But yeah, it's not the business model I want. I would say that, but
yeah, I wouldn't do it, but I don't care if they feel like they want to. Whatever. Yeah. Julie wants to know.
Sell mine first, and then they have nothing to sell.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, then they better be watching it where they got, they end their listing. If you cross list, do you have different pricing on your different platforms?
Yes. In the times that I've cross listed, I don't do anything right now, but like 100%, just because your fee structure is different, the sold comps are different, your buyers are different. Just know the market for each platform.
Yep. The few times we've cross-listed to Mercari, we have increased our price on Mercari. We tend to price a little higher over there because we get a lot of crazy offers over there.
Yeah, I usually price higher Mercari and Posh just for the fact that how people send offers is completely different than eBay. How you can send offers on eBay. So I price higher because I realize I'm going to be sending out offers on Mercari, and once I send out one offer, that's the last time I can send out that offer. So I actually have to go a little bit lower next time. So I have to account for that because I plan on sending out offers maybe 2 or 3 times on those items. With Posh has a higher, selling fee. So I price just a couple $1 too higher just to cover the extra, percentage cost.
And I do not change my pricing on different platforms. When we were doing Etsy, I priced up 20%, but we no longer are selling on Etsy. We only do Posh and Mercari. And mine is simply for the reason my 70-something-year-old mother does all my cross-posting, and it would just be too complicated for her. If I was like, oh, mark it up this on Posh and mark it up this on Mercari, it would just make it a little too difficult for her. Mercari does limit, I want to say, Mercari will not let a buyer send more than 20% off for an offer on Mercari, which I love. But there is a way around it on Mercari now. If they bundle, they can still lowball you. So today I got one that bundled 5 license plate, offered me 50%. I countered them back at 75 and they declined. I'm like, okay, and whatever. Like, you spent the time to go find those license plate, put them in a thing, and then offer me 50%. So, but Posh is like the queen of lowball offers, man. Posh is horrible. And I just decline them. Like, no shame. Like, I'm just declining them because it's just annoying. All right. Gina wants to know, what's the weirdest thing you found inside of another item?
Ooh, I don't know. Money. I mean, we found money in pockets once, and it wasn't much. Nothing weird, really. I take that back. We buy storage units, so there's you get a close look at humanity in some of those, but we won't go into detail on that.
Yeah. I mean, nothing out of the usual, like ordinary. Trying to think. If I did, I'd probably display it, but no.
So for me, it would be pornographic photos or pornographic videos, and I'll keep it at that.
What did you find in the item you bought, right?
And then cockroaches and bugs. That was probably the most disgusting thing I found inside items before. So yeah, not fun.
I think the weirdest for me, I haven't bought any of these in a while. I might have to start searching for them again. I love the vintage daguerreotype and tintype photos, and it was weird to me. It's not weird for the time. There was a locket of hair inside this 100-plus-year-old photograph. I actually still have it.
That's what I want my answer to be, Kathleen.
I priced it really high. Hair. A glow-in-the-dark condom and a Richard Simmons deal of mail. That's great. Oh.
Yeah, well, I found weed.
Oh, dear Lord.
I found bags of weed in items before, so that's actually in video game cases. Go figure. So, but.
I guess we found a dead guy's hair. He died in jail, and they cut a piece of his hair, like his ponytail, off for his family. Kept it, and we did find
that would gross me out. I don't like other people's hair.
So we got like the box that they send you the dog back in when you have it cremated. We found one of those in a storage unit. You find stuff when you're buying lots, you never know what you're going to find.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Sonny wants to know, what's the largest item you sold?
A full set of blow molds with Empire Christmas Star, and I mean it was a set with multiple pieces in one, so it was only 3 pieces. But it required a large wardrobe box to ship everything at once.
We picked up a big center console for a boat one time at a thrift store. They had marked it like $3, and we were like, "What the heck? We'll give it a shot," because they listed for like $400 on Amazon, and it was new. It still had the paperwork with it, and we did sell it to Texas. It's fiberglass and it was about 4 foot tall by 2 foot wide. So it's probably one of the biggest things we've shipped on eBay.
I sold a massive chainsaw one time. It was like it's like a 30-inch, 36-inch, like just a massive one they would use to cut down like redwoods. I have sold that. And then blow molds, probably one of the biggest things I've sold. Not yet. I haven't sold the fire hydrant yet. All right? Pump the brakes. All right. Hopefully soon.
I've sold a lot of big things. I sold a wheelchair and I didn't want to take it apart. I did a video on that. It took 3 giant Amazon boxes and it got there safely. And I just built a box. It was like a kid building a playhouse. So I sold the wheelchair. The biggest thing I've sold is probably Ethan Allen Hutch, but that went via U-Ship. That wasn't something I had to actually pack. And then the other biggest thing, the steamer trunks, the full-size antique steamer trunks. I sold 2 of those and put those bad boys in boxes and sent them UPS. So
I had to put this up here. Real Squirrel found human remains and a thing.
no, thank you. I have not been so lucky.
So
if you
she
say
put on
that.
here about finding books and money. So I will tell you one thing. I used to clear out of states up in Pennsylvania. My dad had a hauling business. And when people die, if you have like great grandparents or grandparents, when they were born, like during like the Depression time or right after the wars, they didn't trust banks. So they would hide money. I would find money under mattresses. If behind picture frames, if you tear the paper off the back, I would find stacks of hundreds back there. And books, you would take books out. If you clear out old houses, just shake those books. Money would fall out the books. Cookie jars. And if you have an unfinished basement and the like the ceiling, they had like the corners where they all meet, they would stick them in the corners up there. So little just information for you guys to keep in mind if you're clearing out houses ever.
Look at these things. Andy sold a pallet of rock. DeCamper sold a barn door and shipped it from Illinois to Texas, and a real fire truck.
We need to give us some of these guys that really know how to ship.
Yeah.
We've got a whole building full of huge furniture we'd love to ship.
Petting Profits.
Listen, use U-Ship. I've done a lot of furniture with U-Ship. It's not hard.
Yeah.
You need to send me a message who your buyer was, that fire truck, because I have a fire hydrant to go perfect.
He has a hydrant to match it.
Yeah.
Get the rest of the equipment.
Yeah, look, Julie said they found 2,700 and hundreds around the house when her grandfather passed away.
My grandma did it last year before last. And it was just, they used to do wide load escorts, like pilot service, my grandparents. And my Mimi, every time they would stop at a truck stop, she'd be like, I want to get a drink. So my pop would like, hey, here's 20. And she would rat hole it. And then they found it, like, my grandpa found it once. And she's like, Janice, what the hell is this? And she's like, a recipe box, and like behind the clock. And they collected it all up, and it was about $2,600.
Yep.
Jeez.
And I was like,
happens a lot because people
rat hole in Mimi. Mimi's a rat hole and everything.
Yeah, because their parents or their parents growing up didn't trust banks because what happened during the Depression and happened during the wars. So they.
My grandma just doesn't trust my grandpa to give him money.
But that works too.
That's funny. All right, guys, we're 5 minutes after. Mike is gonna tell you something about himself now. He's had like 2 hours to warm up. I have faith in him. I'm gonna make him big now. Here you go.
All right, so folks, thank y'all very much for tuning in. I appreciate y'all giving us all the time and with your questions. But I'm Mike Deathpile Picker. You can find me on YouTube right here. You can scroll up in the chat, see my links. You can also find me on Instagram, as well as usually side by side with Rod, Dave, Kevin at various garage sales. And Kevin and I will be doing the Whatnot. We're going to be broadcasting some Whatnot shows from our trailer and highway sales in the future, or Kevin's trailer with my name on it. But give us a follow on Whatnot, myself and Kevin. And then also we're all a large group is going to be doing stuff with dibdit.com, which is their store on District. And I'm going to be bringing out some exclusive items. I mean, it's a lot of pop culture stuff. So you'll have stuff like vintage He-Man stuff, She-Ra, some Transformers. And that's probably the thing that I'm most excited about is the trailer highway sales and then dibdit.com. And then anybody else that's following me on YouTube, I would appreciate it. Look forward to possibly offending some of y'all, but also getting to know you.
Look, he talked a bunch more. All right, here's Cory.
All right. First, thanks, Kat and Rod, for having me on. This was a lot of fun. I'm Cory from one half of Grams and Pops Vintage. You can catch us on YouTube, Grams and Pops Vintage, or Instagram. You can also catch me on the Reseller Clickbait podcast every Monday morning. And if you want to come meet up in person, we have a reseller meetup coming up, Planes to Profit in Omaha, February 23rd and 4th. That's about it. I appreciate you guys having me on here.
Perfect. Rod, what's going on?
If someone could post the link for their meetup, that'd be great, guys. Please subscribe to both these guys. They're great people. Mike's one of my favorite people to go picking with. Cory does a lot for the community. He's actually putting together a Midwest reseller meetup. So it's very important that you guys give those guys a follow because we're stronger as a community than we are individually. As for me, I dropped a new video today, guys, on YouTube. Go check it out. The fire hydrant isn't in it, but will be in one of the upcoming videos. I'm going live on Whatnot tomorrow night. I am doing a vintage and modern Disney show. Everything's starting at $2. This Friday, though, I am going to be set up in my garage, and I'm blowing out all my stuff. So I'm going to open up boxes on air. I'm giving away a Nintendo 64 for buyer appreciation. So I'm going to start probably like 2 o'clock on Friday. Guys, come check me out. And I also have a second channel, Flipping and Punching. So you guys can give that a follow if you want more of the business side like we were talking about tonight. I show you guys what sold. Also, too, if any questions we don't get to tonight, I know there's about 10 or 12 in there. Please send me a message on IG or Facebook. I will answer any questions that we didn't get to tonight. So,
yes. So next week, I'm excited because 2 of my very, very longtime friends will be on with us next week. We are going to have Tay from Prison to Profit and Leroy Blood Sweat Cell on with us. Both of those guys are good friends of mine in person and here on the YouTube. So they will be on with us next week. I will be doing a Whatnot whenever I feel like it. I've decided I'm just doing pop-ups and I'm not scheduling for right now because it's what's working. So follow me on Whatnot, turn on the notifications, and you'll see when I go live. I might do, no, I thought I was going to tomorrow, but I'm going to be emptying a car of clothes, 2 closets full of clothes, probably most of the day tomorrow. So I might go live Thursday on Whatnot. And then Thursday night, if you haven't joined my membership, we once a month do listing reviews to help you see what you can improve to get more sales. So that is this Thursday. The link is posted for those of you that are members. You can sign up to have your listings reviewed on Thursday. And I'll have a video out Thursday, and probably I'll try and have a video out on Catch Treasure Hunting, my second channel, tomorrow. And that is all. Thank you, Mike and Cory, for coming on. Rod, for showing up still. And Rod just dropped the link.
Thank you.
Rod dropped the link to the Planes to Profit for you guys if you are interested in that event in February. And we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Take care.